Oh dear, Jonathan Majors. He's appeared in court via Zoom, so, a live video feed. This is over his assault charge. And his attorney's released another statement, quite a bad one actually. It goes like ham, and basically says Jonathan Majors is a victim of racial bias. Was also throwing some pretty major accusations out at the New York police force, as well as the district attorney. So we'll dive into this today because it's just baffling. And I think as well, at the end of the day, he's in court, or he will be going to court. He has been in court. We'll see how this pans out. He's not guilty. We don't know anything at this point in time. But when a lawyer, an attorney, is so quick to throw out the race card in this fashion, it does scream a lack of sort of substance to their own defence. I think, personally, you shouldn't need to throw that out if you have the unequivocal evidence, which you have stated many, many times. So, look, it is what it is. I know many people who disagree, and, it's a hot topic when people talk about race, but I'm not getting into it. I'm not saying he's guilty. We don't know, right? That's not for me to decide. It's not for you to decide. But make no mistake, his attorney has been paid to say these things. So please bear that in mind when you blindly believe everything that this defense attorney has stated, because that's important. They're literally paid to defend the client. So hit subscribe if you're new here, and we'll take a look at all of this. It's not the headline that Marvel would have wanted shortly after the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, for those that don't know, obviously, Jonathan Major was arrested last month after allegedly assaulting a female companion who was later revealed to be his girlfriend. Now, he's made his first court appearance on Tuesday via Zoom regarding the status of the case. The conference itself was reportedly very brief, and the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania star didn't have much to say. The judge discussed a motion filed by Major's defense team that the prosecution, so the DA, has until May 23rd to respond to. So the actor is due to appear in court on June 13th, when a decision will be made regarding said motion. If he fails to turn up, a warrant can be issued for his arrest within 48 hours. He will turn up, of course he will. And this next part, they say if Majors is found guilty, he could face up to a year behind bars or 3 years probation term. He won't go behind bars. Of course he won't. He's not going to go behind bars. He's too famous for that. If anything does happen, if he is found guilty, then it will be the 3-year probation term. Now, we don't actually know what this motion is. The likelihood, it could be a plea. It could be a plea bargain. You never know. It's from the defense team to the prosecution, but we don't know what it is. But I would imagine it's the potential that it's a plea deal. That's what I'm going to assume, because we don't know quite what it is and why there would be a motion and a need to respond to it in that manner. I'm sure anyone a little bit more litigious will be able to chime in at what they think. So Major's lawyer, Priya Chowdhury, is still adamant that a client did nothing wrong and is now claiming that he is a victim of racial bias. So Priya Chowdhury, again, that's the defense attorney. They're literally paid to do this. But this is the response that they gave, or at least the statement being issued to Deadline. And bearing in mind, they didn't say any of this in court. They're not allowed to, because she could just lose her license, right? Like her bar. So that's important to note as well. We have provided the district attorney with irrefutable evidence that the woman is lying, including video proof showing nothing happened, especially not where she claimed. We did this with the explicit promise from the DA that they would not fix their case and change it as we proved the woman is lying. So they're already claiming now, by proxy, that the DA is changing the case, fixing the case, in fact. I mean, that's pretty strong, bold claims to make. Really, really bold claims to make. And if it is irrefutable evidence, then it'll come out in court. Now, the next stuff doesn't make any sense and is really, really dumb. This is a witch hunt against Jonathan Majors, driven by baseless claims. Instead of dismissing the allegations in the face of the woman's clear lies, the DA has adjusted the charges to match the woman's new lies. To be clear, there are no new charges against Mr. Majors. So no one can prove what you're saying is what you're saying. Now this is the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. Now we have obtained even more video evidence of his innocence, but we are hesitant to share it for fear the DA will tip the woman off to change her story again. Okay, well, there is such a thing called discovery. You have to share it, and you will share it, in fact. This has to happen. So this statement is completely worthless. The criminal justice system is saturated with explicit and implicit bias. Well, and look, maybe it is. Okay, maybe. But there's no reason for this. I mean, this is the same team or the same office that was going after Trump, wasn't it? So I don't see where this explicit bias lies with this DA. You know, I don't see it. I don't see why there's a witch hunt after Jonathan Majors. There's no evidence to back up what is being stated here, and it's just for those that choose to believe it. You know, all this will come out in court, remember? Now, this is the real thing that I think irks me the most, because this can be easily disproven. When Mr. Majors showed a white police officer the injuries the woman caused him, the white officer got in Mr. Majors' face and taunted him, saying that if the officer were to slap Mr. Majors, the officer wouldn't break his finger. None of the white officers present investigated the assault of Mr. Majors, and worse, the district attorney has not indicated any intention to pursue charges against the woman or even investigate the truth. Right, a few things. We'll work from the back end forward. The whole fact that they are going to court means that the truth will be investigated regardless. That's just factual. That's the whole purpose of the court case itself. You know, is literally to get to the bottom of it. Are you found guilty or not? We've got this evidence. You've got that evidence. Let's go to court. I mean, that's the whole point. That is investigating the truth. So it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Now, this whole white officer situation, if there was... They keep saying that there was injuries on Mr. Majors, but Priya Chowdhury, his defense attorney, has been very, very quick to release photos, stills from CCTV footage showing the alleged victim out partying. But we haven't seen any photos of the injuries. I mean, there's apparently injuries to Mr. Majors that are so visible, Mr. Majors showed a white police officer. So why don't we have photo evidence of that? Where are they? You know, there's a lot of inconsistencies across the board here. And we can't escape the fact that Priya Chowdhury is literally paid to say these things. And it just annoys me when they're so quick to throw out the race card. It just screams desperation. It screams lack of substance in your argument. So you fall back on that. But what do you guys think? I'd love to hear it. So let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. It's not good for Marvel. This is a real bad look. It's not what they would have wanted as a headline. But hey, it is what it is. What do you guys think? Cheers, guys. Take care.